right, so I want to do my best Sandy impression. How do I do my best Sandy impression? Like, she like...
Please, quiet on set. Quiet on set. Handsome, educational. Take one, scene one.
We're so fucking professional now. But she's like so bubbly and cute. Sandy, if I have to be you, how do I do it? Educational vlog, take one. All right, so we're wrapping up how to brand your real estate business. This is the advanced version. First, if you haven't seen the first 2 videos, you should definitely check them out. Beginner, intermediate, and now we're advanced. So I've worked my way through the beginner into the intermediate, and now we are in the process of getting into the advanced, and the advanced can just scale forever and ever and ever. But this is basically a synopsis of what's involved if you're creating content for the real estate industry or any other industry on an advanced level. And I have to give kudos to people that I've learned from, whether it be people I know in the area or people on the internet, like Gary Vee. I'll explain a few different concepts and people that you're gonna need. But basically what it comes down to is you're essentially pouring gasoline on everything that we talked about in the intermediate version, okay? I think the most important thing in the advanced version is building out the team. So at this point, and you've heard Gary talk about it a lot, I never really understood it until relatively recently, which is you need to build your own in-house media company, right? To try to like outsource all this stuff, it gets too expensive, too crazy, it doesn't flow, it's not gonna be right. And I mean, let's face it, even now, but definitely 5 or 10 years from now, it's all about social media, what's on the phone. Traditional advertising is dying, if not dead, already. So we would have, let's say, like a head of marketing type of person or a marketing director or whatever you want to call them, which is an administrative and a creative position. It's somebody who's very organized, who's going to keep scheduling, keep everybody on par, but also look into different platforms, have a creative background, and kind of help structure the team. Because at this point, like we're doing, we're gonna have anywhere from 8 to 12 people working in the marketing company, and it's a job within itself. It's a lot of moving pieces, it's a lot of different people. The creative process is constant. You have to be always coming up with new material. You're gonna use certain things. Everybody has a finite life, like Levy and I and the guys were talking about before. Certain things are run, then you want to chop them because you want fresh things, because the audience gets bored and you always want to keep people on their toes and interested in what you're doing. So just some of the positions, like you would have a head of AV, or again, whatever title you want to call it, which is essentially Levy, who runs all the creative, all the camera work, all the videographers, all the people under him. You'd have an ad manager. Let's say you're gonna do heavy or multiple ad managers. Let's say you're gonna do Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn ads, etc., which is what we're looking to hire for right now. Someone who's just gonna be doing that full time. So remember, you have to create content for that. You have to really understand how it works. I myself have learned, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos, but when you need to scale it, I don't have the time to do it. So you're gonna have somebody who's constantly A/B testing. You have to create certain content, play with it, different thumbnails, different captions, different copy, all those things to see what works as you test it with a little bit of money, and then once it starts to work, you crank it up and you add more money to it. And then obviously everything has a finite life. It's gonna run for a certain period of time. You're gonna have like this bell curve type of thing, and then you have to come up with the next, hopefully, revolutionary idea. PPC, pay-per-click. This I've found to be really industry dependent. So on, let's say, something like the Handsome Homebuyer, the fix and flip world, doesn't make a lot of sense. The cost per clicks are very, very high, and it doesn't convert in my opinion. I think that's for most industries, but there are some real niche industries that I've found where people aren't paying for PPC, and you can actually get inexpensive clicks, $1, under $1, under $2, and it makes sense depending on what your price point is. So while this isn't great in for most businesses, make sure you check to see if it's good for yours. SEO, again, something that's older, but I have some friends that do absolute sick business as a result of SEO. It's a long game. They're not in real estate, they're in different industries, but they do great with it. And it's really fascinating once you really start to learn about it. Editors and camera people, obviously if you're creating all this content for your business and multiple businesses, you're gonna need multiple editors, especially because editing is what takes the most time. As I've always said, it was just Levy and I before Scott and Greg joined on. We would shoot for, let's say, 6 hours, and then Levy would edit for 34 hours. It really takes a lot of time if you want to put out the level of content that Levy puts out. Graphic designers, if you're doing different things like now you're gonna start doing cartoons or different website design, things like that, which again brings me to website design and copywriters. Because again, you're gonna be converting things into written word, you're gonna do audio, written word, you're gonna do pictures, you're just gonna come up with all kinds of interesting, creative ways to get people's attention, give value, educate people, and ultimately let them know exactly what you're doing so that you can grow your business. So a couple different things I wanna touch on. Podcasts are great. You can do them both in person, you can do them virtually. I use StreamYard as a platform, it works very well. Paid ads, as we discussed before, document, stick with the vlogs, do like a documentative type of style. It's great if you can do different types of speeches. Like, I don't know if you guys checked out, we did that one with Peter Grosso and Brian Karp the other day. Came out great. It's a pillar content piece, which I'll mention in a minute. You guys should check out. And then again, when you're creating content at that level, you want to cater the pieces to the individual platforms, which is something that we're working on right now. Understanding each platform, understanding the mindset of the people that are on the platform, understanding who is on the platform, and in this way you can hook them. Because obviously, people that are on LinkedIn have a different mindset than people that are on TikTok. And people that are on Twitter are different than Instagram and vice versa. So you want to make sure that you're constantly tailoring the content to whatever platform you're on, okay? So this was a cool exercise that the guys and I tried. We're in the middle of it. Actually gonna review it later on tomorrow to see how it turned out, but from what I can see, it turned out pretty good. So Gary has this 82-page deck out. We'll put the link down in the comments or down in the bio that you can check on. Very interesting, it's 82 pages, but basically what it is, it's a PowerPoint, so it's a very quick read. Go to the bathroom, pull it out on your phone, come out 15 minutes later. Essentially what it does is it shows you how you can create a massive amount of content from a little bit of recording. So Gary does an example of, he does a 45-minute keynote speech, and ultimately what he does is he breaks that up into 30, 31, 32, something like that, pieces of content that he basically lays across 11 different platforms, and ultimately ends up getting 300 million views on those pieces of content. So we tried that out with the Peter Grosso event. So far it looks great. I think we have about 20, 25 pieces of content that we pulled out of this one 15, 20-minute keynote speech, which is great. So if you can get yourself, out there, whether it be podcasts, speeches, just documenting, it's a great way to be able to extract a ton of content while not taking a tremendous amount of time on the shooting side. On the post-production and editing side, it always takes a lot. But the point is, this stuff is a lot of work. It can get very expensive, but listen, marketing and sales are the lifeblood of every business. In order to succeed, I find that even if I can't directly correlate where certain deals are coming from, I know that people are constantly saying that they know me. When I walk into restaurants, they're like, hey, we see you on social media, hey, we see you on TV. And I know that the deals are coming in. And I can't exactly quantify it in certain cases, but I know that when I'm not doing this type of stuff on this level, I'm not advertising, I know that the deals are not coming in as much. So get out there, create content, spend the time, invest in yourself and your business. It's a must. Obviously, we appreciate you guys following along. If you haven't joined the text platform, please do so. Like, subscribe, comment. If there's anything you want to see about real estate, development, fix and flip, commercial, land, new construction, rentals, you name it, just reach out to me via text or leave it in the comments, and we're happy to put it together for you. We'll see you on next week's educational vlog.